Callaloo, ackee, sweet potato, yam, banana, and tomato, cabbage, spinach, avocado, chocho, buttered bean and cocoa, courgette, millet, plantain, rice and peas and pumpkin, mango, dates and guava, chickpeas and cassava.
This is going to be a really hard video to make. I now decided to just hold everything off because I feel like this is affecting me way too much. First of all, I need to give you some context, and I wasn't aware of this issue till I feel like I'm kind of being victimized by this entire movement of third wave feminist intersectional SJWs. There is no small degree of internet interaction from these people, and I see some very irrational, plainly outright ridiculous statements, and there is also no small degree of videos out there of flat out stupidity from this movement.
We do not have the best system in the world.
Who has a better system?
There are many European countries that are much better off than
you
us.
mean like the European countries with a higher density of whites, like Northern Europe?
That's one way to phrase it, I guess.
You don't mean Turkey?
No.
You don't mean Eastern Europe?
No.
With the communists?
No.
Identify yourself to me.
And I'm not going to step out of the vehicle.
All right, well, you know, you are impeding my investigation. To that point,
you know what?
148 PC.
I'll get out of the vehicle for you. I will get out of the vehicle. No, getting
All right, well, you're not free to leave. You're
no.
going to take the bag off.
No, I'm
You're going
not.
to take the bag off.
No, I'm not.
Relax your...
Hey! You're raping me. This is rape. This is rape. This is rape.
That he insinuating that Mexico is sending their rapists?
They are. 80% of the young girls who cross the border get raped. I thought you feminists hate rape.
I do.
So do you think 80% is a pretty bad stat for women getting raped? 80% of the women crossing the border get raped.
By Americans?
No, by illegals.
Okay.
Smile at me, bitch. What you want?
I didn't see anything. Yeah, nothing happened. I didn't see anything. Nothing happened. I didn't see anything.
Face to face with a few of them,
Such as?
well, Emily Yukis,
She's not there.
okay, what was his name?
You haven't talked to a single one of them. You don't know what you're talking about. You're slandering people like all the people that were out here protesting.
Finds the white male as like...
When did he do that?
I don't want to talk to you anymore. So.
In the same course of time that the civil rights movement has made such tremendous strides, is America more racist now than it was in 1960? And if it is, please explain to me how that happened.
Anybody can jump in. It's an open mic there.
I love the mansplaining. I'm enjoying it.
You're loving what?
The mansplaining that's going on.
Yes, Senator, that if you're putting the word man in front of some description of what I'm doing, you're doing that which I'm sure you're very much against, is making a sexist implication about how I'm conducting my role as a man.
Well, then the easiest way to do it...
Is that what you're saying, Senator?
Well, what I'm saying is that the way you've been responding to me has been patronising and condescending, and I have responded to that. So the easiest way to deal with this is not to have that way in responding to questions I've asked.
Imagine the reaction, Senator, if I said you were woman-splaining. You're saying that I'm mansplaining.
Well, it is a term that's used.
Is it by whom?
Well, it is a term that's used.
By rude...
Doesn't make
by
any
rude
sense.
senators.
As in the opening note, I have no problem with there being this group of people in the vegan community. Everybody should be vegan. And you know what? I agree with the most part of what this group of people are fighting for. I am not an intersectionalist. I don't believe in intersectionality. Though I can see how some aspects of feminism logically follows into veganism. Like, look at the entire dairy industry, it's a huge aspect of female exploitation. The same thing with the egg industry is also a huge female exploitation. Even the breeding practices is a huge vegan issue. But how does leather, fur, and other, like meat products, directly have anything to do with feminism? I don't believe it does. And that is my opinion. However, I don't believe they are right all the time. And sometimes I feel like they go way too far out there. And I was stupid enough to actually speak my mind about it. Now that was the soft part of this video. The rest is going to be a blast. I hope there will be some openness for others' views within this discussion. But no, absolutely not. People were trying to specifically attack me as a person, and I was introduced to new words such as toxic masculinity and this mansplaining, which I find extremely sexist words. Come on, I get it. The words, well, the meaning behind the words aren't sexist. It's just when you put man or masculine within a word to make it a negative, that is not fair. It's like calling rape male act. Well, that would only be fair if all men were raping. And people try to excuse this, but men have been this way so long. There's a history behind it. You know what? There is a history of Germans being Nazis. I don't walk up to a neo-Nazi and say, oh, you're being such a German. No, that's unfair. After some time, I try to explain. I find these words and rhetorical ways that they act upon to be sexist in and of themselves. And instead of trying to sit down, have a civil discussion about this, what do? They mock me. They go like, ha ha ha, you're a man, you can't possibly understand how bad it is to be a woman. You are not the person to talk about how it is to be oppressed. You can't possibly know. And this has been going back and forth a lot. And I mean quite a lot the last year or so. It's not like one-on-one combat going on. No, they gather in more people trying to joke it all away when I actually feel affected by this. And people, instead of talking nicely or maybe trying to understand, they rudely add different memes upon, share different groups in the most rude way possible. And this is where it got the best of me, because recently I started to tell people I actually do feel bullied by these people. I don't feel like they treat me well. I feel like they ignore my feelings totally. And sorry. The totality of all this is just they have no will to understand me. There are even some men outside, for some reason, they don't see the problem with this. And I'm not sure, some people have some ideas and maybe they try to be popular with women. I don't know, could probably be, probably not, I don't know. It's hard to tell. They're trying to put this towards me being a bad person for some reason, and I don't really understand why. It makes absolutely no sense. What have you done for women? It's not like I've been having a subscription where I donate to Amnesty or anything. It's not like I paid a ticket for a woman to get out of a country where she was actively being exploited as a woman. No, that definitely didn't happen. It's not like I guarded a woman with huge pregnancy depression so that she didn't do anything stupid. Have I never bought a pregnancy test to younger women who can't afford it? No, that has probably never happened. Have I ever stopped a rape twice? No, that can't have happened, because I'm definitely a misogynist man who just don't understand that women are being oppressed in our society. Something that is this blindly obvious, and they just shed away. I tried to explain this problem in different vegan forums, and they said, oh, this is separate from this issue. This issue is in the vegan community. Usually I don't care what people say or what people do. The difference here is that, first of all, it's in the vegan community. Second of all, it's in the activist community that I'm a part of. Thirdly, these are people that I would consider my friends. Which recently I'm not quite sure about anymore. They mock me when I tell them I feel bullied. What is that? It's absolutely unforgivable. They totally trivialize how I feel about this. Yes, I cry. Deal with it. And that they try to say that at least I should be able to handle this. And the truth be told, men are actually mentally weaker than women are. I got like this huge excuse. I feel like you're actually taking advantage of me. The very thing you try to fight is the same thing you inflict upon me. And I'm being serious. And I feel bullied from these same people who claim they care. Which it does not seem like in this instance. But I would like these people to apologize to me. And if this ever happens again, then there will be consequences for this. There are laws who prohibit this. And yes, I've been treating you different from if you were men, because if you were men, I would have done this sooner. Next time this happens again, if ever, hopefully not, then I will report this to the police. There is no way. I have other things to do, like saving animals. That is what I care about. So please don't ever do this again. I am very fine to discuss this civilized, but don't slander me for how I actually feel. If I feel bullied, that is up to me, not you. If you disagree about something, yes, you can go on, slander people, make fun of them because you believe they don't understand women, although that's so not the case. Or you could do the most logical thing in the book. We could sit down, very civilized, and we can talk.